What's up? How is everyone? How are you?
Dude, I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing great. Crypto kindness.
Man, I got a little story to tell you, but it's your channel, so I'll let you open this up. But I got a little story to tell you.
I can't wait. I got a couple of things to share as well. And just as a quick intro, good to see everyone. Today we got some people watching coming in. So we'll say hello to chat as we get some more chats in there. But dude, I've been I've seen your videos. Crypto Heartbeat has mentioned great things about you. Before you and I got connected, and I'm really excited to talk to you today. We were on an impromptu crypto heartbeat stream yesterday, but I didn't get really a chance to get to know you a little bit. So
yeah, man,
tell me a little bit about yourself, and then I'd love to hear this story. Just for the record, you and I talked about this, and we'll get everyone on the same page. We know what's going on in the world, but we decided to keep it positive because that's what the world needs, and especially this community. So if everyone's cool with that, that's how we're going to proceed.
Heck yeah. No, that's great. I appreciate the positive. And I even wore my Be Kind shirt because we just need more kindness in this world. And because it's fitting with my name, of course. Dude, what's my story? Well, how much time do we have? Do you want me to start back when I pushed my sister down 100 flights of stairs and blamed it on the dog, or what? If you know that quote.
Let's start with the community.
Yeah.
When did you get in?
Dude, I got into the PulseChain sacrifice before I got into Hex. A buddy of mine, client of mine, tried to get me into Ethereum in 2015, and of course I told him that was stupid. We all know how that ended. He's retired in Puerto Rico, and I'm not. But so that dude reached out to me again, said, "Hey, I know you're kind of disappointed you didn't get into Ethereum. There's this cool thing happening, PulseChain sacrifice." He told me about it, so I aped into that. After doing so, got into Hex. After being into Hex for a little while, started just learning more about Richard Hart, the ecosystem, all that type of stuff. And I don't want to say became a maxi, but went all in. I just love everything I've heard. I love the community. I love Richard Hart and what I've learned from him. So, and then just randomly got into a stream with Crypto Heartbeat, and I made the mistake of mentioning that, hey, doing a YouTube channel would be fun. And of course, he jumped all over that and encouraging and doing this and sending me texts. And so because of Crypto Heartbeat, here I am now a YouTube streamer and loving it. I'm having a blast. It's a lot of fun. I've met a lot of really cool people, and here we are today.
Right on. Yeah. Excuse me. One of the things I love about the people that I've been streaming with and the people that I'm just seeing that are making videos is the encouragement of others that are thinking about doing something. And so I try to do it every stream where I tell people, if you're feeling called to create content in any way, do it. Yeah. And if you need assistance, I know Rags to Riches had even made a little guide for people to get started. But I heard you sort of correct yourself talking about a maxi, because I know that there, some people have feelings about that, but I want to unpack that a little bit today when we're talking regarding what that means, and you tweeted about it today, but about the ecosystem and the strength there. So just saying hi to a couple people. Let's see, we got David Lee in the house. Crypto Compassion was here early. Got extra stars. Bobby Hexelrod, good to see you. Godfather J6, John May, John Wallace, Pulse Maniac, which has got a great, I don't know the font you're using for that, but that's pretty cool. Let's see, Anson. Hey man, you gave a great shout out to Anson yesterday.
Dude, he's great. Yeah. In fact, my background, my virtual background, he helped me with today. So
nice.
Another shout out to Anson.
Yeah, and by the way, that Anson, that's the perfect example. Anson it felt a calling, is helping in the background. You don't have to be a face. Your crypto kindness. I'm a freaking cartoon panda. We don't mind putting our faces on the screen here, but that's not all that there is to it. So, in whatever way people can that people feel need or feel called to assist, they can, and you don't have to do anything. You're not less of a Hexkin, Pulsekin, or whatever because you don't create content. It doesn't matter. All right, man, I'm ready for this story, and then we can get into a couple things.
Well, the story is nothing more than I'm a fanboy. Honestly, I got to tell you, I was nervous last night. I'm like, oh my God, I'm on with Panda. And so the reason why for that is because when I first started learning about Hex, and ultimately what kind of drove me to doing a channel is that I was looking at a lot of these YouTube videos, and it was so over my head, the deep chart analysis and the TA, and clearly these people had been into crypto for a long time and they're using all these acronyms and this speak. And for a new person, it was just like, this is pointless. I mean, I might as well be watching an astrophysics talk.
Mhm.
And then I stumbled upon your channel, and I don't, that wasn't like a roundabout way to say you're stupid, but it was, your channel was understandable to me. It was straightforward. It explained Hex. It didn't talk over my head or anything like that. So you were the first person that I started watching on YouTube as it pertains to Hex. And as a result, I learned more about it, started to follow you. So you're like, Panda, you're the reason why I'm here today. So I'm your fan. Like, oh God, I
Awesome,
can't believe
man.
I'm on with Panda. I've accomplished something.
Oh no, that's so great. I really appreciate that. And that was I didn't know if I was really going to do videos, but I started realizing that I do them for work, not for SEO, but I will literally turn on Loom and
Yeah.
explain something to clients because I'm like, hey, someone else can benefit from this. And so I started doing it for people that were asking me questions about it. And then I'm like, you know what? There's all these long form streams and they're great. There's so much amazing content, more
Yep.
it feels like every week. But can I do something that's snackable for people that are either no coiners or maybe just have a Coinbase account? And so that's how I started. I'm so glad that it helped. And Hodl Dog has the amazing tutorials. Crypto Coffee, those guys do
Yeah.
a great tutorial.
Yeah.
So I try to steer clear from stacking on top of things that they've already done because I'll just reference them all the time. But if there's some new approach that I have, because I'm just like, I mean, your name's Crypto Kindness, like it's all about good vibes.
That's right. That's
So
exactly right.
why not just be excited about this? And everyone woke up this morning with some pretty crazy news, and then look at the chart, and there's some other news, and it's like I don't have this sort of like that meme of the smiling mask with the rage tears behind it. It's just like it's all good.
It's
Like
fine.
everything that's going on with the stuff that we have, it's all good. And the things that are going on in the world and the things that are going on in crypto can be creating a lot of issues for people. But if we can spread the good vibes here and keep it positive, because that's just basically how I feel about it, then I'm all about it. So that's a great story, man. Thanks for sharing that. And
Yeah. Yeah,
that keeps me
absolutely.
going. That keeps me going. One of the things I realized is that when I started making them, I noticed that that there were new people that were like, this is helpful. And I started seeing the momentum coming this direction, coming towards Hex and coming towards PulseChain. And so that was the perfect feedback for me, because you can be on Twitter and you can watch videos of people saying things are great, but to actually have people thanking you that are new, or I just bought Hex, this helped me out. It was giving me not direct feedback necessarily for the content, but just showing me that all of our efforts are helping. So
Yeah, and it's a great feeling too that, I mean, you kind of for me, the point of my channel was I saw a need. I saw that, there's a lot of people out there like me that don't understand what half of these crypto videos are about because they're very high level. And I was like, okay, I'm going to make a just layman's guide to crypto, layman's guide, easy conversation. Anytime I say an acronym, I'm going to define it. So when people are listening, and to what you just said, actually, I had a buddy text me today a comment that somebody had texted him about a video of mine he shared, and it was very much to your point. It was like, oh, this is a great video. I learned a lot. It answered a ton of questions, and it's like, okay, great. I'm glad that I'm accomplishing what I set out to do, and that is help new people and be positive. Because I mean, you watch some of these videos, and in the comments, people are just nasty to each other. Like, oh, you're a pleb, you're an idiot, get out of here. And it's like, wait a minute. These people are just asking questions. They're genuinely curious. They want to learn about it. And if they get that type of response, we're just going to shoo them off. And I'm trying to create a culture where everybody is nice to each other and answers questions and is inviting to people that just want to learn.
I think it's great. Thank you for doing it, because you're right. People, It's a little easier because you're an icon and a random name to ask a question in chat, but it's still not easy. No one wants to look stupid ever.
Right.
So yeah, be kind, everybody.
Be kind. Be
Um,
kind.
yes, exactly. So I have a couple things. So one of the things, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about the debate. Make mention of it. And I got
Oh
I
man.
got a follow-up thing. But you watch the whole thing, sound clippy stuff and all. What was your take?
I thought I was really, really proud, honestly, of Richard. I thought he did a great job, and he played a couple mind games with Peter that I don't think Peter was expecting. I actually jumped into Hex Orca's what is it called? The Twitter, what are they called? Space last night.
Yeah, Twitter Space.
Afterwards, and talked about it a bit. But Richard came out of the gate a little bit strong, and I think Peter was expecting that. And then what he did was like, hey, let's slow this down and let's actually talk about a few things that we agree on. And I don't think Peter was expecting that because it totally caught him off guard. Like Peter was ready to slug it out, and all of a sudden the conversation is, yeah, we agree on that. Yeah, we agree on that. And I couldn't agree with you more. And it just threw him off. So it was a little disappointing that the moderators weren't a little bit better at recognizing the feedback from the community and or just listening to fix the audio quality. Because I think if the audio had been equal both ways, Richard would have been heard better and might have had a better chance to get some of the points across that he wanted to. But he was just kind of getting shouted over the whole time.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And the common ground components. I mean, that's like, it just shows how good of a debater Richard Hart is. Because if you can, you can't help but be pulled to that person's side when you see the person that's like trying to make something agreeable, even if in the next couple sentences he's gonna slay you. But well, one of the things that one thing I'll show an overlay here. One of the things that I found interesting is, and I didn't get a chance to look it up, but Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful. So we have Peter Schiff saying that cryptocurrency is going to zero and blah blah blah, and then we've got Mr. Wonderful, who literally yesterday tweeted this out, or maybe it was the night before, going to become the 12th sector of the S&P 500. It's going to happen over the next few years. Watch. Now, I want to be clear. Like whoever is coming into crypto is smart. I'm not applauding. I'm not applauding regulation. I'm not applauding the suits coming in.
Right.
But these are two separate things, two separate comments from two separate suits. And I believe Kevin O'Leary is worth a lot more than Mr. Schiff.
I would agree with that. And it's inevitable. I mean, the Wall Street is going to notice, the suits are going to have already started to take notice that there's a lot of money being made. So there's no way that they're not going to want to get into it and try to manipulate it and try to do all the crap they currently do with the stock market. Hopefully they won't be as successful, but this statement that Kevin O'Leary said, I agree with. I think it's inevitable.
Yeah, absolutely. And I meant to put this up before, but since we got him in the chat, I didn't know Crypto Compassion would be here, but I was gonna just share this tweet because this is exactly the stuff that we talked about. Going into this, I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the world and in the Hex community, but we have so much to be thankful for and great things to look forward to. PulseChain, dude, thank you for tweeting that. That was from last night. I couldn't agree more. And what I've noticed is, I've just noticed that recently, I haven't taken a break from crypto, but I've certainly reduced some of my consumption. And when I end up focusing on other things, I always come to this place of gratitude.
Yeah.
This place of gratitude and just gratitude for all of it, gratitude for this life, gratitude. And I just feel better. And then when everything's crashing, you wake up and you're like, what? 12 cents? It's like, look, it's a 12 cents, but we're getting paid. Awesome. We still get paid every day.
Every day. So I'm really thankful that you brought that up because you and I had chatted before and you talked about let's kind of go through Twitter and mention some of the things that we like and see. And that Crypto Compassion comment was the number one thing I wanted to point out today. I retweeted that last night, and it just, look at this. The great takeaway is we have so much to be thankful for. Let's break this down for a second. I was thinking about this morning, and you were talking about stepping away from cryptocurrency and Twitter and all this type of stuff. And it's important, dude. I was out this morning throwing the ball with my dog. And guess what? When you close the lid to your computer and turn your phone off, the world happens out there. And the birds are chirping. I'm having fun, relaxing with my dog, watching the pine trees sway. And I thought about this tweet. And I'm like, man, I have so much to be thankful for. And if you're listening to this stream this morning, take note here. You also have so much to be thankful for. I know that if you're listening to this, you have access to the internet. You've got a computer or a phone. You're in crypto. You have a lot to be thankful for. And if you step back and look at it through that lens, then when you wake up in the morning and Hex is at 12 cents, you don't freak out. You actually say something like, I looked at my phone and I was like, oh, sweet, I'm going to get a good buying opportunity.
Yeah,
it just changes your perspective.
Yep. Yeah, it's really amazing. So here I want to give Crypto Heinz Crypto, sorry. Thank you so much for the super chat. Very cool. That's awesome.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
I can tell you now, it's just going to other super chats, which is great. So
That's nice.
that's what we're using for. So thank you so much, John May. Good to see you again. And good morning. We got Spike. What up, peeps? So I love that we both noted that tweet. I literally was like on my phone last night. I took a screenshot on my phone and sent it to myself and was like, okay, definitely feature that, because that's what this is all about. It's so easy. It's so easy just in life, but it's so easy to get negative about things when crypto's down. And I do want to talk about that a little bit, because I made a video yesterday regarding being an ecosystem maxi.
Yeah.
You know what that
Awesome.
means. But I didn't, I try to keep these things under 10 minutes if I can. And there was something else I wanted to share that I'm actually glad I saved for the stream, because it's super bullish. And suffice to say, the talking about the ecosystem axes, like there's a lot of finger pointing going on. Everyone wants to blame someone for the reason that price is down or whatever. And we don't necessarily need to get into the specifics of the drama. Everyone knows what it is. Everyone has either openly or privately taken their sides about projects that they're supporting and why. And nope, if Richard Hart doesn't say, if he didn't make it, I'm not in. And I respect that. I absolutely respect that. With that in mind, if the things that he makes need adoption from other people, and if it's Hex, it needs adoption from other people, other people out in the world, whether they're in crypto or they're no coiners or whatever. With PulseChain, even more so, we need adoption of those other communities. So when I see people, it's like, and I get I appreciate it. I appreciate people like, I'm an RH Maxi. And I'm like, okay, let me help consider something then. If you're an RH Maxi, PulseChain can't exist entirely with Hex. It can't. No. It's not going to. It would be a completely dead chain. And then people say, well, yeah, but what about the copies? Okay, that doesn't guarantee our success. It guarantees that eyes are on it. But everyone knows what most people do with airdrops, and that's that they dump their free coins for something else. So what we're actually banking on is the fact that when someone has the initial thought, I'm going to go dump these, I'm going to go dump my PulseChain copies, what they actually do is they go integrate, or they go work with the system, and they start interacting with the system and be like, wait a minute, this is a better Ethereum. Yeah. Now that's good. That's good. And the airdrop thing is genius, but some people still might not get that. They might say, well, then it's just going to make it easier for me to dump these coins because gas fees are cheaper or whatever. We can't control what people's ultimate perception is on that. But I'm curious, but before I go into this other thing, I'm curious, your take on that. And you were here for PulseChain first. By the way, I love your story that you were in PulseChain before Hex. Because I feel like I feel like it's a funnel to a lot of those things. But what's your take?
Well, I wanted to actually quote what you said yesterday on our stream. The the idea that PulseChain and the RH Maxis are not being welcoming to other projects. What you said about the airport analogy yesterday, I thought was fantastic. And for those that didn't hear it, I'll repeat it. And if I screwed up, let me know. But Panda gave an analogy yesterday that was fantastic. It's like, okay, so you're invested in PulseChain, you're invested in PulseX. It's similar to you own the airport in a given country. But then you start complaining about, I don't want to say complaining, maybe that sounds negative, but you start expressing concern about other projects that are building on this chain, which are going to bring you traffic. That's the same as owning the airport and sitting out at the end of the runway and complaining about all the planes that are landing. Like, oh, there's Delta. What a pain in the butt they are. They're going to steal all my passengers. And oh God, United, freaking United. They're here again. It's like, well, wait, what? These are the people that are bringing in outsiders, which is exactly what we need for the Pulse chain to be successful, is other people. There's only 100,000 or so stakers in Hex, 100,000 people. I'm sorry, that ain't going to float Pulse chain. If we want it to go 100x, 1000x, 10,000x, we need those people. We need the Deltas, the Uniteds, the Americans, bringing them in. And what does that look like? Well, that looks like projects building. Is it liquid loans? Is it Hedron? Is it, there's a lot of other stuff happening. We need those to be successful. So I agree that if you're a Richard Hart Maxi, that's fine, but don't throw shade at projects that are building on the chain that we want to be successful, because we need those projects. I'm going to sit at the end of the runway with, a bullhorn and the bells and everything else. And every time a plane comes in, I'm going to celebrate that plane. And I'm going to be encouraging to them. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to invest in it necessarily, but I'm certainly not going to be angry about it. I want them building on my runway. I want them building on PulseChain. So that was a great analogy. And honestly, I don't know how to say it better than that.
No, you did. That was great. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Why would you sit out and FUD the airlines that are paying you to bring passengers? They're paying you to land and take off
Right.
from there. I mean, it makes perfect sense. And the other thing to build on top of that is that everybody has the projects that they don't want on PulseChain.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I really don't. I'm like, bring them all. But if you have this, or let's put it a different way. There are projects that they're not interested in investing in. And so if you look at things like, I haven't even done a video about it. I don't know if I will, because it's gotten so far away and there's other content that I have, but I had a video ready that I was going to make, like, what if OpenSea has been secretly building ready for PulseChain, because OpenSea is one of the biggest users of Ethereum gas fees. I mean, they're top 3, I think, consistently, if you're not talking about stables. And they have the biggest point of pain because of minting and because of selling and because of adoption. And not only that, their bigger point of pain is the fact that Ethereum's not fixing anything, and the NFT community is not sitting around waiting for ETH to get fixed. They're on Phantom, they're on Avalanche, they're on Solana. They're doing all these different things. And so, yeah, they have Polygon now, but it's still kind of tough. So I don't care if you like NFTs or not. They're welcome. They use a lot of gas. They have passionate communities that are excited about minting thousands of NFTs. Like, they're literally mint, these serialized, these programmatic serialized, unique, this art that they have. If they mint 1,000 of them, that's great. That's great for the ecosystem.
For sure.
And so it's like, on top of that, so that stuff's coming. Whatever. I mean, I don't know that OpenSea is coming, but that stuff is coming. My reason for it, at the very least, just keeping my mouth shut about hexagon-led projects that are being built, is that they're, by and large, everyone has their own different angle. And so, like, I'm talking like 6 months ago, I was having a conversation with my brother, and he's like, "Why is someone not making a list of these categories and, like, saying, okay, like, I'll take this one," like how business development would work?
Yeah.
Why is there not someone that's working on massaging the NFT community and getting them ready for this? And you know what? It's great because it sort of happened organically. We have hexagons and pulsecans that are building NFT projects. We have Pulse Doja as a meme project, and they have their own way of doing it. I'm not saying blindly buy them, support them, but you could just also not say anything at all. That said, a lot of these things that are being built are to benefit Hex, or they are DeFi related.
Yeah.
They're smart people that are coming up with this stuff. And if we don't have I'm not saying it would fail, but it's better to get adoption when you have a good baseline of projects to start with. Like none of these builders build strip malls without an anchor,
Yeah.
without an anchor store. Use like a Walgreens or a CVS or something else. But they're being selective and strategic about who goes into those places, so that they're not going to start with the anchor tenant isn't going to be a strip club.
Well, depends on the neighborhood.
Well, it depends on where you are. Yeah, true. But my point is, strategically, they're making that they're making those decisions. And so the way I see it is if you would have said, what category do you think PulseChain will own? I would have said I would love for it to be DeFi, but because I'm a DeFi guy.
Yeah.
But I love seeing all the stuff, all the other things that are on there.
You mentioned, so you bring up an interesting point. You say the strip club down at the end, but at the end of the day, if you own a retail center or a piece of land, I was thinking about this the other day. It's like, yeah, so maybe I'm not a fan of pawn shops, or maybe I'm not a fan of cash day lenders, but those businesses have an audience. And if they want to rent from me, hey, great, I'm happy. I'm going to show you the building. I'm going to tell you that the fees are low, and I'm going to welcome you here. I don't necessarily agree with your business, but that doesn't mean that I don't want your money. So yeah, there's going to be some scams, and there's going to be some projects that maybe I'm not interested in, but I'm still going to open the door and say, hey, come on in. This is great. If you want to bring people in and your business model works for those people, that's fantastic. It really is. And, I want to, something you mentioned, and I had this thought, with I guess you say the Richard Hart Maxey's saying, I saw a tweet that actually you responded to where somebody was upset about the liquid loans launch, and they thought their statement was, this launch is causing people to sell Hex, which is driving down the price. Do it at another time. Don't cause people to sell Hex. And I thought about that for a minute, and I was like, okay, well, help me understand this, Panda. Maybe you can help me understand this, because this is what I don't get. For the last month and a half, there's been the sacrifice going on. And at the same time, there's been plenty of pictures on Twitter about people Hex flexing, vacations, cars, what have you. So how is it different for somebody to Hex flex, which is selling their Hex and buying something they want and being happy about it? How is that different than somebody selling their Hex and investing in a project that they have interest in? The same thing, in my opinion, but why is one bad and the other is praised?
Yeah, I mean, and someone could say that that's bad because their bags are down. But then another person can say, they can throw shade because, like, why would you waste your money on that bag or hat or trip or whatever? So they're not different. We're adults. This is crypto. Spend your money on what you want to spend your money on. And that's the thing is I haven't come to the defense of projects like as of late. I haven't said much other than, like, can you just be cool? Like, can you just be cool and not say anything? But let's take it a step further. We've all been in this game. Like, if you decide right now that you want to sacrifice for PulseX because you got some extra money, well, you're doing so with the knowledge and the information that you didn't get the earlier bonuses. Mm-hmm. So we like those in the know. And if you want to say, I'm just going to use the term hexagons because, and that just generally speaking, because I don't want to say all three of them, but hexagons were well aware of days 1 through 5 or days 1 through 10 or whatever it is. So you got in. So to then all of a sudden say that, right before the end of this thing, that this money's not going, like, that those people were considering maybe throwing a little bit extra into the sacrifice. It's just almost looking for a reason to be upset or be offended, in my opinion. And to your point, spend your money on whatever you want to spend it on. And I know that when people are doing these big market sells, I know that it upsets people, but you know what? Someone listening might have to market sell money to do something. Hopefully it's not a family emergency. Maybe it's because they want to get something. I don't care. Like, if you want to market sell, I mean, seriously, if you want to market sell and kind of wreck yourself on price and you don't want to do it in some sort of methodical or systematic way, like, why would I judge any of that? Because guess what? I love all my Richard Hart. I love all my bags. I love them. I can't, but you know what? I can't wait to sell some of them
I was just
and get
gonna
some
say.
stuff. You know, I'm not trying to do it now, but because my wife knows that we have this. She has a wallet. Yeah, she has a wallet. She has a plan. She has things that she wants. And guys, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to sell something to get that. Now the liquid loans fans are like, yeah, but you don't have to sell anything. You can use liquid loans. Okay, cool.
Sure.
The point is there are options, and the fact that there are known Hexkins and known community members that are building something. The whole reason I did this, but I was country before it was cool. Like I did a video on Pulse Doge and liquid loans well back, because my whole thing was like, I'm not even saying support them. I'm just saying, if I wanted to build a project as a Hexkin, as a PulseChain, I would just at least want people to give me a chance to listen.
Right. Yeah.
Just listen to the idea. So really quick, I want to get something. Robert, that is not for sale. Do not buy. Pulse is not for sale. Do not buy it on PancakeSwap. Do not. It's not for sale. And I want to show another graphic, something just in case, because I know, different levels of experience show up here, but I want to show something else because I saw it was tweeted out last night. 1Password now lets you easily store your crypto wallet details. Do not do this under any circumstances. Do not use 1Password, LastPass, any of those things. And if you are, do not do it in the 1Password crypto wallet details. What do you think hackers are looking for?
It's like putting a highlighter on it. Here's my seed words.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I've got a book safe, but on the outside of the book, over where it says encyclopedia, I've written all my money. Don't do it. So, but Robert, if it's innocent or whatever, no worries, but do not. Pulse is not for sale. Don't buy it.
No, that's actually that's a scam. I actually tweeted that out the other day. I'm pretty sure I know what he's looking at. Some scammer has been sending out to anybody in Telegram and even in Twitter this link that says, "Hey, Pulse is now available. Come," and it gives a wallet address and it gives a link, and it's 100% a scam.
Yeah. And there's all sorts of little, someone could literally make, they could make a coin and do a dusting attack and get all the addresses of everyone that sacrificed for PulseChain and PulseX and just put a little bit of dust in there. And then you look it up and you go there, connect your wallet, and all your stuff's gone. So
yeah.
Don't look at anywhere. You look for Richard Hart's tweets and the website, for that information. So
and that's a good,
go ahead.
Sorry, go on.
No, man, you go.
I was going to say that's a good thing to maybe pause and highlight to if anybody that might be new and listening, or if you're new to this and you're not 100% sure what's going on, just assume everything is a scam. If you see a link, if somebody sends you something, it's like, yoo-hoo, Pulse is available, or come claim your PulseX. Nope, it's a scam. Richard Hart's not going to send you an email saying it's available. It's not going to come through Telegram. It's going to come through a tweet. Follow him, make sure you're following him, not one of the scam accounts that has his name. And if ever you're curious, just post it in the Twitter, say, "Hey, I saw this, is this legit?" And there's enough people out there that are going to have your back. That'll be like, "Nope, steer clear." Or, to your point earlier, Panda, keep an eye out on Hodl Dog's, channel. Cause as soon as PulseChain launches, I assure you, he's going to do a tutorial on how to, claim your tokens and do all this stuff. So if you think you got a leg up and you're the first one that's being able to collect some coins, you're about to get scammed.
That is such a great point. And you can always go on, you can always go into, if you're not on Twitter, there's 1,000 Pulse and PulseChain and Hex streams that are happening. Go into a super chat, or go into a chat like this and ask, and you'll get a similar answer. Be like, no, that's absolutely a scam. So Johnny Big Bang
like just happened.
Yeah, exactly. And no shame, I'm glad that you asked, because if someone else watches this or someone else saw it, and then hopefully we corrected that. So Johnny Big Bang, I want to make something perfectly clear. If someone's making an NFT, they do want your money.
Of course.
That's why they made it. It's like Crypto Heartbeat finally figured out that that bad decisions are made in Vegas. People making NFTs, they want your money. It's okay, but it's yours to decide if you want to spend it or not. And that is the point. If you're not into NFTs, it's okay. You don't need to be in NFTs. You don't need to be in anything. By the way, just come back full circle on this. You can still be a Richard Hart maxi. You can say, I'm not spending a nickel on anything unless Richard Hart makes it. My point about being an ecosystem maxi is that whether you believe it or not, you are. If you're a Richard Hart maxi, you're a Richard Hart ecosystem maxi.
Right.
So if your investment thesis is, I'm not spending money on anything unless he makes it, that's okay. But also just let the things play out that are going to play out, because your bags benefit when with NFTs that are adopting PulseChain. And so I want to show something. Well, actually, before I go to it, this is kind of my biggest thing. So we might have to just end it after this. But do you have any other tweets that you saw community oriented that you wanted to discuss?
I did, but I've already forgotten about them. The one thing I was going to say, however, if you can jump over, if you're planning to jump over to Twitter, I don't know. Speaking of NFTs, there's a group, the PulseChain. I don't know if you follow PulseChain, but they've made a bunch of NFTs for all of us YouTubers, and they've been supporting all of the YouTube content creators, getting out messages about PulseChain. And I wanted to give those guys a shout out. I mean, I think it's really cool what they're doing. I think they made a NFT for you.
They did. Yeah, it's flattering. My kids are like that. My kids are like, that one looks like you. That one doesn't.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, I mean, flattering is a great way to say it. I thought it was really kind of them. That takes time. It takes energy, and they're out there supporting us. And so I want to support them when NFTs come live. I want to see PulseChain. I want to see them do well. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're into it, Finbear's in the house. Good to see you, Finbear. Always.
Good day, Finbear.
So I'm going to talk. I'm going to go. The thing I didn't mention in the ecosystem video, I want to show, because this got me. Literally, I'm making this thing about the ecosystem, the importance of it, and I'm like trying to go down the angle of like, look, we need to be excited about our ecosystem so that we can get adoption. There's no guarantees. And then but I couldn't put this in because it not completely, but it kind of negated my point.
Yeah. So is this bullish news or bearish news?
Super bullish. Super bullish. Yeah, because my thing is that my point was it was on the tails of people pointing fingers and saying, I don't trust these guys, and they took their comments off YouTube. What's up with that? And it's like, what? Like, they're just hating for whatever reason. They're hating because they don't feel good inside. That's usually why you do hate. And I'm like, you know what? I don't care. Like, I'm not aping into all the things. I'm not. Like, why would you? You don't have to, but at least just kind of, can you just say nothing? And you don't even have to do that. But in my research, here's what I found. And this is in the, this was actually in the video. So on CoinGecko, they do categories by market capitalization. And if you sort by market cap, the top 10 are all ecosystems. But what I got curious on is tokens, number of coins. So CoinGecko tracks are just under 13,000 coins. Wow. The BSC ecosystem has roughly 2,500 coins that CoinGecko is tracking. Polygon, coming in second, has 651 coins. So if you're looking at market cap of a chain and an ecosystem that's built around it, this is kind of the leader. Now, that was interesting to me because we keep talking about PulseChain is going to get, 10,000 communities airdropped. So, and I'm like, CoinGecko has a pretty good job of how it is that they, run these categories, but like, where else can I look, for information? So I dug a little bit deeper and I went to Nomics, and Nomics is always the first to list, but they don't list everything. Right. But you're going to get a good thing. So I went to Nomics and I sorted by blockchain. So they say there are 13,000 that they have listed, but they say there are 5,349 that are actively traded. So to me, the 5,349, let's call it 5,400, those are actual active communities. So we can say airdrops to 10,000 communities, et cetera, but
Sure.
really what we're talking about is about 5,400 that are actually active and building and trading and things like that. So that's what I look at. Well, what are we forking? We're forking Ethereum. So I looked at this. The top Ethereum tokens by market cap, 14,500 with 4,300 actively traded. So I'm like, we got this.
Yeah,
Like
we do.
we got this. We don't need the 10,000. We don't need the 10,000. We can beat, but nobody, the thing about Binance Smart Chain is nobody likes it. Nobody
Well,
likes Binance.
if
You
you,
know?
I just had a couple thoughts while you're showing that. Do you mind bringing that back up?
Yeah. Here, one sec. I'm gonna put Finbear's awesome on there. Which one? The second one?
The one you just showed. Yeah, the second one.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's two things that jump out at me straight away. Number one, there are currently more active coins on Binance than Ethereum. So more people have built over there, have stayed active. Why do you think that is? Well, because in my opinion, quick top of the head thinking, the fees are cheaper. They can afford to stay open. When you look at it through that lens, 4,200 of the 14,000 projects on Ethereum are still alive, which means there's 10,000 projects that were built on Ethereum that are no longer going. Now, yes, a lot of those failed, but how many of those failed because they couldn't afford to keep going with the gas fees? I see that as not just 14,000 tokens that might come over or active, say 4,200 tokens. There's an opportunity for 10,000 projects that died on the vine of Ethereum to come over and breathe new life into them. I think that's crazy bullish.
Dude, that's such a great point. That is such a great point because Ethereum is killing projects. They're just sort of, some of them have moved to, some of them have moved to other chains, but yeah, it is literally breathing life into projects that are just sort of sitting there like, what are we going to do now? And you're right. I can say people don't like Binance, but there's BSC kiddies. There's BSC folks that are
Right.
that are stoked, that are used to that ecosystem. And it's not even, in that case, maybe not even necessarily ecosystem. It's just that's where their money is. And they don't know how easy it is to bridge things over. By the way, bridging from chain to chain with I think it's called AnySwap, bridging from, Avalanche to Binance Smart Chain, like it's like $1.
Yeah.
Bridging anything to Ethereum is like base, no matter what, is going to be $80.
$80.
Like, yeah, can't move anything. So, which, by the way, is another thing for the reason I looked that up and understood it is because we are looking at how Ethereum will be bridged to PulseChain and how those things will function. And so I'm like, okay, when many months ago, someone showed a way when someone put liquidity on Polygon for Hex. And they were like, well, here's what you do. Gas fees were still getting ridiculous. We're starting to get ridiculous. And so they put liquidity on Polygon. Well, you still had to spend a bunch of money to get your Ethereum over to Polygon to be able to do that. Yeah, it's supposed to be a layer 2 and doing all these, or it is a layer 2 and it's supposed to be doing all these other things. But that is potentially something that we need to consider in terms of a growing pain when it comes to PulseChain. Yeah. On that note, it's actually bullish because going back the other way is also going to be painful. And why would you do it? Like, why, once you get your money over into PulseChain and you see how easy it is to transact, why would you spend a ton of money to go back the other way? It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, it doesn't make any sense at all. And it's going to be, to your point, people. So think about it this way. You've got these coins, you're going to bridge them over to PulseChain. You're going to spend $50 to bridge them. Then you're going to go try to sell, see what my airdrop was worth. Maybe I'll get $30 out of it. And then it's going to cost me $50 to bridge that money back. It just, people are going to be like, well, it's going to be a real eye opener, I think is what it is. People will come over, they'll be like, oh, I'll give it a try. And then they see that, it's 0.00001 penny. And oh, by the way, it's going to cost me $30 to get it back. You know what? I'm just going to stay here. I'm going to check out this beach. There's some cute ladies here.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and that's the move. That's what seems like it would naturally happen because everyone's sick of gas fees. I mean, if you're just on Hex Twitter, you see people that are mad at Ethereum, but it has a different energy. Like there's something else to sell, which is PulseChain. PulseChain fixes this. But if you go into if you zoom out a little bit and you're checking out crypto Twitter in general, everyone's mad at Ethereum. Everybody.
You know, Ethereum is mad at Ethereum.
Yeah, exactly. Totally. Because think about it. You're like, and this is actually a way to sort of get a little meta and a fractal here. If you're an Ethereum maxi, if you're an Ethereum community fan, you can imagine that people got inspired to build things on top of Ethereum. Well, those things are being destroyed. In fact, I've talked about them before, but SyncBond was one of the projects that I saw that made a press release about moving over. And it's just, you get these, they have really cool, and they were sort of the original NFT DeFi NFT, where you provide liquidity for a certain amount of years and you get this beautiful, their artwork is amazing. But I was like, I saw the press release and I'm like, of course they are. They're getting destroyed. They're getting destroyed by ETH gas fees. So, and I want to address this, Anson. Can we assume that the ones that aren't actively traded or scams or failed? Yeah, just assume that everything is. You know, and so, and I want to also, you know, I don't want to tell people what it is that they should do. But I'm mostly going to sit back and watch the stuff that's going on when mainnet goes live. Like I sacrificed a bunch of hex for PulseChain. And now it's looking like that was a pretty good idea. A couple weeks ago, you know, a couple months ago, it wasn't feeling like such a great idea. And I've been waiting patiently. When mainnet goes live, I'm not looking for places to go throw it away.
Nope.
That said, as a content creator and someone that wants to talk about things that I like in this ecosystem that we're in, I will be looking at various projects and products and seeing if it's worth, you know, even mentioning. But I'm not looking to ape into any of those things, any of those airdrop things at all, just because I have Pulse and just because it's on that chain.
Even if I was looking into ape into them, I don't have any money left. I've sacrificed it all. It's just like, if somebody can bring me the greatest thing, like this is going to beat everything. It's amazing. Richard Hart designed it. I mean, I don't know, whatever. And I'll just be like, crap.
Yeah. I haven't
later.
I haven't bought crypto in about a month, which has been, I wouldn't say it's been easy or difficult. It's just, I did a good job of like getting away from that mindset. Cause for a while I felt like I was buying every other day. But this dip, I might be getting some because it stays, you know.
I ran out of time this morning, but after I dropped my daughter off at school, I rushed home and I was like, I got 10 minutes. I'm gonna jump on and get some hex, and I just didn't have time. It's like, shoot.
We'll see. I mean, with what's going on, and what I realize is that rather than try to FOMO into things, I made the decision myself. Like, okay, so I don't have to buy more. I literally don't have to buy any more crypto. I'm good because I can just let this sit. I'll keep working, keep saving money, you know. And if you have a dollar cost average strategy, that's great. Just keep going. You can do those different things. But I was looking at the number and I'd refresh and it would go down. And I'm like, okay, so just mentally, so I don't have to sit there and keep refreshing, just name a target. And if it gets to this, if it keeps going, well, it's not about, what if it keeps going beyond that? But it's like, I mean, if hex goes to 10 cents, do you know how many people like forget the noise of people like of the FUD where everything's tanking. Everything's tanking. So put your blinders on and see when you saw hex go up to 26 or 35 or 49 cents and you're like, oh man, I wish I would have bought it when it was 12.
Right. Now's your chance.
Yeah. Be careful what you ask for.
So let's actually, you know what I want to do right now, if you're cool with this, let's talk about how this is actually a great opportunity.
Okay.
Because it is a great opportunity. And I'm part of the reason why I want to have this conversation is I want to challenge myself. This is my first major pullback. I'm sitting here watching all markets tank. Everything's down 20%. Stock market's down. So what lessons can we learn from the past? Well, 2017, everything went to hell in a handbasket. People sold, people got wrecked. You know who didn't get wrecked? The people that didn't sell. The Great Recession, 2008 to 2010, stock market was down. people got wrecked, except for the people that didn't sell and just kept buying. I mean, I'm almost viewing what's happening today, and I don't know, the markets, I guess, have opened. So I don't know what's happening in the stock market right this minute, but this could be like the 2020 freak out sell of the pandemic.
The COVID dip. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, right now, Russia invaded and everybody's like, oh my God, I got to sell everything. And in 3 days, it's probably not going to be back to where it was, but it might be higher. So I'm challenging myself, and I challenge everybody else. We know it's easy to say that when everybody's running out of the house that's on fire, it's the best time to run in. It's easy to say hodl. It's easy to say this stuff, but our emotions say otherwise. Our emotions say, oh crap, I need to get out now. I need to protect my money. I need to. So it goes a little bit goes back to you shouldn't have bought this with money you can't afford to lose, for starters. If you did that, then, if you need to just turn off the screen and walk away so you don't panic sell, then do that. Hopefully you're all staked so you can't sell anyway. But I'm honestly challenging myself, and over the next, I'm going to buy today. If it goes down more, I'm going to buy some more. I'm going to do what I always tell myself I need to do, which is buy during the significant pullbacks, and then just wait longer.
Right. Just wait longer.
Just wait longer.
Yeah. No, it's actually a great way to look at it. And if you can't have these conversations in the rest of crypto, like with a serious face. We all got into this because the founder has talked about and talks nonstop about delayed gratification.
Right.
All the Hex streamers are talking about delayed gratification. If you look at, I mean, I wasn't around. I was around when it hit a penny,
Okay.
but I wasn't around when I couldn't foresee it hitting a penny.
Gotcha.
And people are like, when it hit a penny, I couldn't believe it. Like people couldn't believe it. So they were in, and they couldn't even fathom that it would even get, like they were ecstatic, that it went to that. And I know you're sitting, people are like, oh man, I wish I would have gotten it was a penny. Well, guess what? That same narrative is going to apply in 2 years.
Right.
When you wish that you would have been around for the 12-cent dip, so it's like, and also there's another thing to consider. I did a video on it a while back, and it still applies. I mean, maybe, and actually right now, maybe even the price applies, but I it's like, you want to get cheaper Hex, stake longer. And so I did a video showing the net effective cost per Hex if you stake. So, you don't like it that it was, I think it was 22 cents at the time. Well, if you stake for 15 years, it's actually 6 cents or whatever it is. Yeah. So waiting longer, to your point, is the best thing. Staking helps you with that. And that doesn't even include the fact that we get the copy of it.
Well, yeah. And then the copy is a whole nother thing. Like, if you're going to buy, now's the time. But it's hard to do, man. I mean, listen, I onboarded a buddy of mine, I don't know, back in early December when Hex hit 12 cents. And I just didn't have any money, so I didn't buy any. And for the last month and a half, I've been complaining about that. He jokes with me. He's like, oh, I should have bought more, and all this type of stuff. And I'm like, dude, you got to buy. You bought the absolute bottom. I didn't too. So I've been like, okay, if it ever gets back to 15, I'm going to buy. If it ever gets back to 12, I'm going to buy. So I'm going to share my story because I know other people did this. I woke up this morning and it's 12.5 cents. Did I say, oh my God, I'm going to buy, this is the opportunity I wanted? I went, oh Jesus, it's everything's dead. We're all dying. There's no way I'm buying. And then I was like, okay, come on, Jeffrey, we're going to buy today because you said, I remember you saying this, that if it goes back to 12 cents, we're buying. So I'm buying when I get off this stream.
Nice. That's good. And you know what? If it goes to 10, it goes to 8, who cares? You got what you wanted out of it. Like it ends up being fine. I like that too, because look, everybody, when you have a crypto with product market fit, there's a Venn diagram. I might do a longer video on this. There's a Venn diagram of what I think makes something successful. And it's 3 circles, and it's founder and devs. It is product market fit, and it is community. We got all of those things. Yeah. We got all those things. This is not going away. It's not going away. And if you pick a ticker, if you're lucky enough to pick a ticker, or if you were lucky enough to pick most tickers in 2017 and you bought them and didn't do anything, and the project hasn't failed, you're all good.
Yeah.
It just ends up being the case. So people can talk about, oh, Bitcoin's going to 10,000 or whatever, and the panic around those things. But the people who bought in 2017 and bought Bitcoin in 2017 and just hung on to it, they're all good. Now they might be triggered. They might be having flashbacks.
Oh God.
From back then. There might be some some nervous things popping up. But at the same time, we're in this, and more specifically, more personally, I should say, I got, I got wrecked like everyone else in 2017, 2018. And then I didn't even look at crypto. I didn't care about it. I didn't talk about it. I didn't look at my wallets. I didn't check anything. And then a friend of mine was like, hey man, you should check. I know you're not doing crypto, but you should check this thing. I had to tell me 3 times. And it wasn't Hex. It was just crypto.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, if I get back in, it's just going to be for long term. I don't want to trade it. I don't want to do anything. So Hex ended up being like this perfect fit. Easier said than done, which is why I'm glad that I'm mostly staked. And I used to be 100%, but I just bought some.
Yeah.
Bought some to have recently. But over time, to your point, what you said, don't, and it's so obvious. People say, don't, invest more than you can afford to lose, but also reconsider your time frame for when it is. And that also easier said than done if you're in a job that you don't like. But I would say, get your head straight now, because the things that are going on in your life, that you feel like are not creating happiness or peace, those don't go away because Hex hits a buck. It doesn't. Yeah, you maybe pay some extra bills, maybe you get out of debt and some of those things, but how you feel on the inside and your mental health and how it is that you're looking at your day-to-day and living, figure it out now. Work on that now. This is a perfect time to do it, because then you won't spend money trying to scratch an itch that you can't reach, because you have all this stuff that you didn't do the work. You didn't do the personal work on yourself now. And so you're just throwing money at stuff and people and experiences, trying to feel better about your life. This is the perfect time to fix it now.
Hex Orca talks a lot about making sure you're in a good mental place. And I had a great interview with him, and a lot of the answers to questions that I asked him all came back to, you need to do what is going to be best for you to sleep well at night. So, we say don't invest more than you can afford to lose. I would throw a little, annotation on that and say, don't invest what you can't afford to watch go down and not be able to sleep well at night. Like, say you can lose 10 grand and you invest that, but if you do, you're an anxious mess. Well, then don't put in 10 grand, put in 2 grand. So that way you can sleep well at night. Mental health is far more important. And the roller coaster ride of crypto, all it's going to do is catalyze whatever challenges you have. Like you said, fix yourself before you go into heavy on this stuff, because it's just going to manifest in a different way if the roller coaster ride is too hard for you to handle.
Dude, that's such a great point, because what you can afford to lose, it has some energy in it. Well, I'm not gonna fail if this money's gone, but it being lost may make you feel pretty bad. So I love your twist on it, or you're taking it a step further, because it's like, if you watch it, and again, it comes back to, do I trust the founder and the devs? Is there a product market fit? Like, is this going to be around, and is the community solid? And that actually helps you be able to sleep.
Let me share a cautionary tale to speak about what I just shared. There's people out there that are listening, and I want you all to learn from me. I made a mistake after I got into Hex, and that was, we've heard this one before, FOMO. I was like, oh my God, I missed Hex. I want to buy the next best thing. So I got into some crap coin that I thought was going to, moon me to being rich. And I did stupid with zeros on the end, bro. Stupid. And guess what? I got destroyed. Now, listen, I'm in a very fortunate place. It was not money I couldn't afford to lose. But did I sleep well for a month when it was gone? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So it wasn't worth it, even though my quality of life has not changed at all. In fact, I've all but forgotten about it at this point, other than to share it with y'all. Don't FOMO into other projects. And again, just because you can afford to lose it doesn't mean you're going to sleep well if you do. So keep that into mind too, because at the end of the day, mental health is absolutely the most important. And right here, we've got this comment up about PulseChain Trainer. You want to hear a really interesting story about how small the Hex community is?
Sure.
This one is fun. So PulseChain Trainer, super cool dude. I'm actually going to do a stream with him. He is, long story short, I get a text from my sister-in-law, my brother's wife. And she's like, oh my God, my trainer knows you and follows your channel. And I'm like, huh? And she's like, yeah, my trainer is into the projects you're in and he follows your channel. So this guy's been watching my channel. And the whole time he's like, Mike, I swear I know this dude. My brother and I are like doppelgangers. We look like twins. And he's like, I swear I know this guy, but I would have absolutely no reason to know him. And one day I took my hat off and I'm bald and my brother's bald. And all of a sudden he's like, oh my God, that's it. It has to be. So he calls up my brother and is like, is your bro a YouTube streamer? And of course my brother's like, hell if I know.
What? But yeah, what?
He mentions it to my sister-in-law. And so it's just crazy. So now, this guy's down in Texas. I'm up in Michigan and he's my brother's trainer. And we're both in the same product making.
Oh my gosh, that's
how
awesome.
Crazy is that? It's so cool. He's a super cool dude. He just started a channel. He's really big into mental health, physical health, all the things that we need to be talking about also. I'd recommend you jump over and check him out. Super nice guy.
Yeah. And while you're at it, if you're not following Crypto Kindness on YouTube, and Twitter, I put the stuff I put all your links in the description.
Oh, thanks, man.
Definitely give those a follow. PulseChain Trainer. Yeah, it is a very small world. And I have, we've got some stickers on our car, and we're in Costa Rica. So when I get a shout, it's even more strange. Do
you get them though?
Fact, yeah. I mean, not all the time, but I had a friend of mine that I won't call him out, but he's in chats a lot. He's not in my chats. I don't know why he doesn't watch my stuff. It's actually because we have coffee and he can talk to me, firsthand. But we were sitting there. We have coffee a couple times a week, and usually we're talking about crypto. We're either talking about crypto or just how beautiful life is. Those are the two things.
And especially in Costa Rica.
And there's these two. There's a great intersection there. And a guy comes up and says, a guy that we both know, comes up and says, "Oh, I like your stickers," and I can't remember the exact context, but he was like, "Oh, I free claim for that with my Bitcoin," and we're like, "Oh yeah," and then he's like, "Yeah, I didn't, I sold," and whatever he sold it at, we're like, "Oh, cool," and we're like, "Oh, dude, have you looked? Have you looked?" But you know what?
No, don't do that.
Yeah, no, I mean, we didn't say it to him. We're like, "Okay, cool," and then and then he moved on, and we sort of were like, "Oh," but. My takeaway from it was he's not a fool. He's in he's in crypto. He got his free stuff, and he did what people do with airdrops,
right?
Which is he dumped it, and he said he made he said he made 40 grand or something. So in his mind, he's winning, but from the math that we were doing, it was a lot more than 40 grand that he lost.
Oh, that's
or I shouldn't say opportunity cost. Let's put it that way.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
It's a better way to go about it. But dude, thanks for sharing that story, because it's absolutely true. And I do like that there are more people speaking about mental health. I know Matty Allen has been doing that, but the more people speaking about it, the better, because when I see someone like, and this is just me, when I see someone that says that they've quit their job and they're all in on crypto, I actually feel, I don't feel bad for the person, but I feel like empathy for them. I'm like, you must have really hated your job, and so you feel like there's freedom there. And if you've ever just worked a job, people that work jobs and don't start companies or don't aren't an independent contractor, that it must be great to work for yourself. I'm like, I got so many freaking bosses. I got 8 bosses that work for me. I got dozens and dozens and dozens of bosses in the forms of clients that I work for. Because I'm one of the bosses, but I answer to a lot of different people. But I have elements of control in those scenarios, those people that I'm talking to and in that. And if you don't like your job, maybe you can't go get another one. Maybe it's super, super special. But when you're full-time in crypto and your resources are coming from stuff like this, like my heart goes out to people that do it. Like I don't, I always celebrate people that are wanting to do things they want to do, but I don't have a good feeling about people that go all in crypto in that regard, because I'm like, and I also am kind of like, man, that person must have a really strong stomach.
Oh,
But I don't typically think, when I see people that are saying it out loud, I don't typically get that vibe. I get this like, this is my escape
yeah, right.
from the working world, and now I'm on crypto. And I'm like, no, you just traded a way more controllable situation for something that could destroy you. You're not going to just go into work one day and the boss is going to be like, hey, we cut your pay by 60%.
Right.
And by the way, you got to keep working. You have to work twice as hard to get back to the salary that you had. Like that's not a thing. So by the way, not disparaging anyone that's doing crypto full-time or anything full-time. But it just, to me, it's, and maybe it's me getting a little bit older. It's me getting a little bit older and just kind of wanting things to be peaceful. I don't need anything. I don't want anything really in life. And so I'm like, I'm all good. I like what I do for work. I'm fortunate. I've worked my ass off to get to the point where I like to.
Yeah.
So I'll just keep doing this. And when Hex, PulseChain, PulseX provide the freedoms to not do that anymore, I will probably still keep doing this for a little while.
I certainly will. I enjoy what I do. And having FU money might be fun, but I live a great life now. And the older I get, the more I learn that less is more. I don't want another house. I don't want a yacht, because it's all crap I got to maintain, dude. I live on a lake. I've got 3 boats. And if I could get rid of one of them, I would, because the things you own you. And that goes for crypto too, because it takes a lot of mental energy in crypto. And the one thing that I like most about Hex, and actually what drew me here, is that I don't have to watch charts all day, because I'm staked. I don't care. I'm a nut about this stuff. When I first visited it and I was doing, the Bitcoins and this, and I'm thinking, oh, if it goes up 10%, I can sell, and then it'll go down. And I'm thinking about all this crap, and it's just consuming my time. It's consuming my thoughts. And it's just, I don't do well with it at all. Unhealthy. And when I found Hex, I was like, oh, wait, you mean I get to buy it and then just forget about it and earn yield? Sign me up. I'll take 2. Actually,
oh my gosh, yeah.
And I'll get 2.
Actually, I will get
Put
2.
that in your pipe and smoke it. That's awesome.
Yeah. And yeah, to your point, like and I tell people all the time, it is fun. Crypto is fun, but it can be not fun, or it can be taxing. And I've noticed, like yesterday, Crypto Heartbeat's like, man, you've lost a lot of weight. Well, dude, I put a bunch on because of crypto. I wasn't surfing. I was like, at night, I'm making memes. I'm doing research. I'm like, I was having fun with it, but I was like, this is not good. I had to order. We went back to the States for Thanksgiving. I had to order bigger pants to meet me, when I was there. And nobody in my family mentions it. I don't really care. But
I'm sorry to laugh, dude. I'm sorry to laugh, but the way you just said that was really funny.
It's funny. I had some quitters waiting for me. The Elastaband kind of thing. But my point is that during that entire time, I was spending time with family. I didn't make any videos. I was paying less attention to streams. And the best thing about this community is that, and I did get some messages like, hey, are you going to stream again? Which is like awesome. It's flattering. Yeah. But if anyone listening wants to take a break, any streamers, any content creators, you want to take a break, we got you. We're going to keep talking about this. We're going to pump your bags while you go focus on whatever it is that you need to focus on, so that you can relax, because it's the whole freaking point of all of this. If we're not doing that, then we just bought into the ownership scam, if you want to call it that, the things that you own you. I mean, if this hat gets destroyed, like I have to buy another hat, you get to just make one.
I do. It's just like, the printer's our friend.
You know what I meant to do? I meant to do this in solidarity with you.
I love it.
The OG.
I'm a little disappointed. I've actually ordered a custom PulseChain hat, and I was hoping it was going to be here for today, and we could have this whole like unboxing ceremony. That didn't happen.
It's not there. No, I
got
some
stream again, brother.
Yeah, let's do it. I got some coming. I'm going. I'm definitely going to Vegas, and I got some coming. I ordered some Hex merch to have someone bring to me, so I
Sweet.
can have a new hat. So you asked me before, so I'll just so we clear it up officially on streams. Before we started, Crypto Kindness was like, "Hey man, do you always wear the same shirt?" And the answer is I have 6
Yeah.
of roughly the same shirt. So yes, I do. It's kind of a, it's not. I'll say it's inspired by Albert Einstein, in that regard.
Sure.
But really, for me, it's like I just go through. I like simplicity, and so I'll go through things. So I have 6 of these shirts. There's like 4. Yeah, Crypto Compassion. See you in Vegas. I can't wait to meet people in real life. And by the way, speaking of spending your money on things, I see people that were criticizing buying plane tickets and stuff with Hex, and I made a joke about it yesterday. Like, look, you and I don't have to pay for haircuts, so those darn people that are dumping their Hex to pay for haircuts, they're fudding our bags. But I'm excited to see people in Vegas. What was I talking about, dude?
You were talking about your shirt and all 6 of them.
Yeah. So I have like 4. I have 3 that are like this gray color. I have 2 that are kind of a blue, and I have a maroon one. I wear other shirts, but these are nice color shirts I have, and I'll get sick of them in 6 months, and I'll be on to something else. I just rather be simple with it.
Dude, I agree completely.
The official answer.
So I got a funny happening about Vegas. I've had a few people ask, like, "Oh man, you gonna be there? Let's meet up." And I was like, "No." So let me tell you how this conversation went. My wife is a healthcare worker, so she works out hour or shift work, I should say. She's working the weekend of the Vegas thing. And I said to her, I was like, "Hey, I was kind of thinking maybe I'd swing out to Vegas and meet some folks and participate in this conference." And I got the "you ain't doing that" look. But this was this is how it went. She's like, "Oh, okay. So I'm working that weekend. So you're gonna dump the kids on me while I'm at work to fly out to Vegas to meet some imaginary internet friends and talk about imaginary internet money." And I was like, "So maybe we should get a wine night on the books for you and the girls and act like this conversation never happened."
Yeah, how'd it work?
Yeah, I'm not going to Vegas.
Oh. Dude, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's so good. I'm sorry. I'm laughing.
Oh no, it's fun. Listen, my wife is awesome, and we had a fun conversation about it. But she's just like, "Man, you're out your damn mind. That ain't happening."
Right. Yeah. It's. I guess it's one thing or another. I mean, the fact that it's in Vegas is one thing. But do you feel like, was it timing? Is it Vegas? Or was
No,
it
it's time.
The imaginary internet friends?
Imaginary internet friends. If she wasn't working and we had a little bit more notice, I mean, I know this has been on the books for a while, but I haven't really dove into the communities until about December, and her schedule is booked out a couple months in advance, so it just didn't work out. Now, I understand there's a Pulse conference coming up in September. Maybe I'll go there, but at the same time, I don't want to say this in a bad way, but what am I going to do in Vegas?
No, I mean, I agree with you. And, this relationships are work. I gave a heads up. I gave a heads up about this one at the last conference, because I was going to maybe swing it, but it's international travel and it's kind of a thing. And so I was like, I basically was like, "Hey, I'm going to go." And not only that, but the other people that I wanted to go, I know it's helpful for them to give heads ups to their significant others. And so we earmarked those dates, but it's a partnership. She's working and you're taking care of kids, like a heads up's good. So what I'm going to have to work on is, after I come back from this, is, can I go back in September? And the fact that it's in Vegas doesn't necessarily help.
No.
The fact that the next, like, you just went to Las Vegas. It's like, well, it's not about that. It's about the community. But
the other thing that was pretty entertaining about the conversation with my wife, and she was like, I don't mean to remind you of this, but all the Hex you bought is like down 50%. So you want to spend money and go talk about a product that we're really underwater on? I was like, "Bro, step back. We're staked. It's okay."
Yeah. Well, and you're like, that's even more reason for me to go. I need to get our bags
Yeah.
back up to where they all the promises I made in these
I need
earlier
to find
conversations.
out where this is all going, sweetie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's that's how it is. We're just doing our best. We're doing this, for those with families or significant others. That's who I'm doing this for my kids. That
Yeah.
was the whole
Me
reason
too.
I got into it in the first place. Like I was like, okay, I'm going to make annual stakes on my birthday. God forbid if something happens to me, then they at least have that. I know they'd be okay regardless, but that's to me is like after I got that, that strategy cleared, I'm like, I don't need anything else. I'm good.
No.
I like doing fun stuff. I have a new surfboard every once in a while. Tyler Matthews asking the best place to live in Costa Rica. Man, I haven't lived in a lot of places. My recommendation is just come down and visit some places and then see what's best. What I end up finding out is I live a little bit further south. Everyone who messages me that's friends is always going north. There's the Four Seasons is up there. There's more touristy stuff. So they go north. And then the people who message me and say, I'm coming down to where you all live, they have already been here and they didn't want all the hullabaloo and all the expensive stuff. So it's a little less traveled. But you just got to come down here and figure it out. It may be this year, it may be early next. I'm just gonna see how things go, but I'm gonna actually organize a Hexkin, PulseChain surf trip for people that want to come down. So
Okay, so I need at least 6 months notice on that.
okay, yeah, I'll give you a heads up. It'll be a proper heads up on it, like 8 to 12 months out.
I'm there. So to answer this, I can't answer this question, but it's funny the way you just described it because that's exactly what we did. My wife and I, the first time we went to Costa Rica, we visited Tamarindo, and I love Tamarindo. That is a cool town. We had a blast. You get a good Costa Rican vibe there, but there are some nicer amenities. We didn't stay in them. We like to go there and take in the culture, and actually, we stayed in basically a hostel. And then this last Christmas, we were down in Manuel Antonio, which is south down by you. And that place, oh God, it's so beautiful there. And you know what I love about Costa Rica? The people. The people are so nice, and they're friendly. They want to help. They're honest. They're very family oriented. They're very health oriented. You don't see fat people in Costa Rica. I'm sure you do, just nothing like the States.
Yeah, not.
And
There's still a lot of, because of there's still a lot of prepackaged food, but you're right. Generally speaking, it's pretty healthy.
yeah. And it's a great, like we were down in Cape Host. That's I was telling you, just what is that, south of Yaco? And
Jaco, yeah.
Jaco, sorry. Yeah, that's the gringo saying
That's
it there
right.
for you.
I'm not mad at you.
Yeah. So
You didn't call it Jacko.
Jacko.
So.
What board do you surf? I like a 9.6. What's your size?
I got mine are all 5'10", 5'10", 5'11".
Okay, so you're pretty good.
Fish. I'm good enough. Yeah, I mean, I've been here 8 years. I'm friends with a shaper.
Ooh, nice.
And yeah, so and that that's the thing is I came down here and I was like, all right. Speaking of the Compassion Cartel and just the crypto heartbeat community and everything around that, I'll just call it a vibe, Matt. And it was sort of my initial interest in talking to Matt and working with him and Brandon to set up a channel was okay, this is up and to the right. What are we going to do? And so we live in a place like this. I'm a guest. We get to call ourselves expats, but the reality is that we're immigrants. Yeah. In a lot of ways. And I was like, okay, so what can I do to help? And I ended up meeting this guy who was working at a gas station. But he came up to me with my surfboard and was like, hey man, you want some wax? And I was like, oh, a hustler. Nice. Yeah, I'll buy wax from you. And then I come to find out that he fixes boards. And so we became friends, and he said, I'm going to do the thing full time. So I helped him. I have PowerPoint skills, got him an order sheet, got him sort of looking a little bit more professional, and that we just became friends that way. And so I get decent deals on boards. But he's also a sick surfer, so I got better.
Oh, dude, that's so much fun. It's hard to beat surfing when you're just floating out there waiting for a wave, taking it all in. I mean, that's the ultimate piece in my mind. I love it.
It's the best. Yeah. So I'll let you know. I'll probably put something out on Twitter, and then start either a Telegram, group for it or something like that, to see what the interest is. But I know we've got a bunch of other surfers in the community. And my plan is to do it, make it easy for wherever you are, wherever people are, financially. It's not, I don't want it to be some baller trip. I'll make it super simple. But I'll let you and everybody know.
It'd be a ton of fun to just rent a giant VRBO and have everybody stay together. That'd be a blast.
We could do something like that. Yeah. South towards close to Panama, there's 2 waves. There's one of the longest lefts in the world at Pavones, and there's one of the longest rights in the world called Matapalo. And there's not a lot of people down there. So you could get a house, get houses, walking distance to the breaks, and actually do it really, really nice. Costa Rica's not cheap. But things like labor or, private chefs, things like that, you can get affordably. So, well, dude, we've been talking about an hour, 20 minutes. Anything else come to mind for you? Anything else you want to share, talk about, videos you have coming up?
I'm just looking through the chat real quick, making sure I didn't miss anything. I got a couple video ideas coming up. I've got more ideas than I've got time. One of the things I want to put together is a video about, I'm going to title it something to the tune of Rich Tomorrow, Generous Today, and talk to people about setting up proper wallets in their ledger and how to delegate the PulseChain when they get it. Because if you transfer it early and put it into separate wallets, there's not going to be any taxes involved with that. But if you wait 2 years and there's value to it, you start moving it around, you could have tax obligations. So something to encourage people to think a little bit before this is launched and set themselves up for success. I'm also going to do a bunch of shorts. Just, I like your bite-sized videos. I think engagement is a lot higher. And they're not too in depth, and just a little bit of positive attitude right now in the community is certainly welcome. So I'm going to be busy, but nothing specific outside of that. How about you?
That's it, man. I'm just, I've been jumping on streams when I get sent a link, wherever possible. And then just making a video when I feel called to do so. And that to me ends up being the best way to go about it. I am pretty stoked for Vegas, but work's keeping me busy. And so I'm on a carnivore diet from recommendation from Rags to Riches. So that occupies some headspace
how
too.
Is that?
Oh, I mean, it's not easy, and I'll have like cheat days with it, but I've lost. I think I haven't weighed myself. I didn't weigh myself today or yesterday, but last I checked, I lost 17 pounds since New Year's.
No way, dude! Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's and I was going crazy, during the holidays. I didn't really care, but yeah, so it's been good, and back to this whole mental health, physical health thing, like. We don't have to wait till we get all the mad gains to then start focusing on those things. In fact, right now is a better time while you're waiting for the market and for Hex and Pulse and PulseChain and PulseX to do what they're doing, for it to go live. It's a great time to you can improve your life by distracting yourself from crypto. That's pretty awesome.
That's a double win. I'll share one piece of information that I'm a Dave Ramsey guy. I would almost call myself a Dave Ramsey maxi. One thing that he says that I think is very applicable to this conversation is that money will make you more of what you already are. If you're a jerk, money will make you a bigger jerk. If you're generous, it'll make you more generous. If you're a stress ball, it's going to make you more of a stress ball. So be the person you want to be before you get rich, because that's just going to be magnified significantly. So to what you were just saying, if people are struggling out there, fix the inner you. So that way, when you have some money, you can do the right things and be the person you want to be.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I think that's a great place to end. Crypto compassion, get your house in order. Exactly. Crypto kindness, man. Thank you so much. Been good talking to you. It was great to be on stream with you yesterday. Let's definitely do this again. We just pop in. And everyone in the chat, thank you so much for being here. Like and subscribe if you like this. And go subscribe and follow Crypto Kindness. Everything's in the description. That's it for us today. Everyone have great days, and we'll see you soon.